It was a rivalry game with South Webster that set off the blackout free-for-all.
It wasn't nothing to have a fight.
This was back in a time when people didn't pay much attention to it, you know. Fights were more or less treated as just competition then, you know. People lose their head, they get on the floor, you know, they get a bad call, you know, somebody swing at somebody, and the first thing you know, the bleachers unload.
South Webster's another one. Whew, man, when we played them rows.
They was out for blood when they played.
It wasn't that we looked for a fight. The emotions were so high, you know, it just kind of got out of hands.
They didn't like getting beat, you know, by teams out of Adams County, and
they came in thinking that they was going to kind of roll over us.
And Coach called me in the office, and he says, whatever you do, don't start a fight.
A little on the dirty side basketball, pushing and shoving and gouging, name calling, this kind of stuff.
Really, the teams just didn't like each other.
Well, it was a pretty tough game we had, and it was pretty physical.
And it just seemed like you could see it building up during the game.
Well, one thing led to the other, and
one thing led to another. When the game was over, we won the game, but
there was a fight after.
It looked like the teams were going to shake hands. They just squared off, and next thing you know, just like a big wave of ocean water just went right up against the wall, nothing but red uniforms and white uniforms.
She had this purse that's about this long. I think she could carry 2 concrete blocks in it. Right where the fans are, you know, like Peebles fans and South Webster fans, you mixed in the middle, kind of. Well, one of them said something about her son in the back. She takes this purse and just turns like that. It just catches that fan. And the fight was on in the crowd then.
And then pretty soon, people from the crowd started mingling down onto the gym. And it's just something like you see in the movies.
Well, I walked back out of the gym, and I'd never seen anything like it in my life. There was women fighting and men fighting, and
I saw chairs, people off the stage, people getting hit with chairs. And
the new crowd control technique was that people are afraid of the dark. And so if you have a problem, you just turn the lights off.
Someone went over, and I can't remember who it was, and thought to calm it down, they would turn the lights out. So they turned all the lights out in the gym, and it just got worse. It was a free-for-all.
I'm thinking, what's happening here? All of a sudden, I said, the lights are going out. What's going on here?
And that wasn't good then. Gets really nasty then.
And as the lights go out, all I'm hearing is thump, thump, thump. People are beating on each other.
I mean, there was fights all over the place. I mean, kids were fighting, adults.
Parents were out there, and some of the police officers were getting slugged. And
I mean, it wasn't one of these fair fights. It was the fight.
Had some boy up against the wall and was just boxing him like a punching bag.
That guy turned around to Charlie and said, "You kicked me," and Charlie said, "No, I didn't kick you," but he said, "I'm going to hit you," and Charlie just drilled him as hard as he could hit him.
I mean, people were hitting, people didn't know who they were hitting. And
you know, something if people have been wanting to hit each other probably for 10 years, they decided here's a golden opportunity. The lights are out and they're not going to see who's slugging who.
But anyway, Copley goes in, Mr. Copley goes in, jerks the door open, goes in and gets the lights turned back on. It kind of got settled down after that.
And I remember the police had to escort the South Webster bus out of town.
I mean, there was adults the next day had cut lips and black eyes and everything else, and they still don't know who did it.
But needless to say, you know, I think South Webster gave us a little respect after that.
It was pretty exciting for a while.